Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial. Today you're going to learn how to do something really cool. You'll be turning the portrait here on the left into this new design here on the right. This is an effect that I first saw by an artist named Victor Hetz. His info will be in the description below, and I don't know if the effect has a name yet. So for this tutorial, let's call it a fireworks portrait, because it looks like the portrait is blowing up and expanding outwards towards yourself. Now, let's get started. I'm going to close this. Now, this is kind of a resource heavy a tutorial, but you should be able to get through it. So we're going to start with an image. It should be black and white. Background should be a solid color. So here I use a picture of Mark Twain in the public domain. Embed the image into your Illustrator. And the first thing we'll do, we'll go to Edit, Edit Colors, and Adjust Color Balance. Now we want to make sure that the background is fairly white. So in this case, we'll go to Color Mode Grayscale and click on Convert. Convert this image to a grayscale, and then preview. And we're going to move the slider down this way until we have kind of white background, white face, and black features that stick out. I think that's good enough. Press OK. Now, also to help with the half-toning, we're going to go and apply a Gaussian blur from Effect, Blur, Gaussian blur. And it should be around 6 pixels or so. So this is an artboard 500 by 500 pixels. Press OK. Good. Now we'll go to Effect, Pixelate, and Color Halftone. And here we'll get a bunch of options. The only thing to change here is your max radius, and I put it around 10. That seems to be a good size for an artboard this big. And press OK. There we have it. So now we have a halftone image. Okay, now this is a raster. To convert it to a vector, we have to do a live trace. So I'm just going to use the default settings for live trace. And when we do this, if we zoom in, we see that our perfect circles before are no longer perfect circles. It's kind of annoying. And you can either play with live trace to create better functions and get around this. There's another way you can quasi get around this problem. So we're going to click on our image. We're going to go expand. Then we're going to right click, we're going to ungroup, and we're just going to click on this bounding box right here and press delete. Good. Now let's select our entire image. And we're going to go to Effect, Convert to Shape, and Ellipse. And we're going to get this monstrosity. We don't want that. So right here in this relative box, we're going to change the extra width to -1 and the extra height also to -1, like that. And if we press OK, we see now that most of our shapes have now turned into nice, proper circles. Good. Now I'm just going to select my image and I'm going to apply the color that I want. Actually, I'm going to make it yellow right here. Okay. Let's select our whole image. Press Ctrl G. We want to group it. And then, if we zoom in and click our image and press S, which is the scale button, scale tool, we're going to click right here. Hold Shift and Alt until you see your scale bar you've scaled down to about a bit less than 20%, like that. And let go. Good. And so now we've created our duplicate. You can select that and select that. Good. Now this object right here, we want to copy it. Okay, so Ctrl C. And now we're going to blend between these two objects. So let's click this one and let's give it a bit, maybe a bit darker color. So there's kind of a blend between the two. And we're going to select both of our objects now. Remember, this one's copied. And go to Object, Blend, and Blend Options. Now we're going to do specified steps. And if you want a smooth blend between these two, so you want straight lines that go, you're going to need quite a few steps. But this is very resource heavy. So I'm just going to do 50 steps right here. You'll see what that looks like in a moment. And you'll see how long it even takes to calculate. We'll press OK. Then go to Object, Blend, and Make. And hopefully it doesn't crash right now. Let's try. Okay, now we just sit here and we let it all calculate. There it already goes into not responding. Crossing fingers. Please work. This is why I don't do it with 100 steps or 200 steps or even more, although it would give a more seamless blend. I'll probably go forward. And it worked. Perfect. That's really good. And so we have this effect right here, but we see it's not so dramatic, and it's difficult to see where the lines end up. And this is where we press Control Shift V. And we press I, and we give it a quite bright color. And so we just repaste that layer that we had before on the background. And the last thing that we do, we just give a nice contrasting background. In this case, it's going to be a blue. Create a square like this. Give it a blue color. Right click, arrange, and send to the back. And there you have it. You've created a really sweet monochromatic image of any portrait that you want. It's a really cool effect. You can play with all the colors. Do this with any image. Just make sure you have that white background and you should be set. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope this worked for you and it didn't crash. You can set the steps a bit, you can lower the amount of steps, maybe to 25, and it's just going to make a bit more area between these pits. But that's okay. You can also make the background shape a bit larger, which might give you smoother shapes between your dots. But there you have it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, any comments, suggestions, please write them in the views below, in the replies below. If you liked it. If you want to see more, subscribe. And of course, as always, have a great day.